There is this shitty band that keeps going down the street. Do you remember that?
Put up them Salvation Army bands.
Every day with that shit. I was like, will somebody heat up some water and throw it on this band?
Just stand around waiting for something sad to happen and go, wah, wah.
Let's see here. Last movie tonight is Roma. And Roma's the one that's been getting a lot of praise from the critics out there. And this is one that Netflix, they're going to let you know that it's getting a lot of praise because this is the one. They thought it was going to be Mowgli, but this is the one where they said, man, we finally will have that shot. Has Netflix actually had anything receive Best Picture that has? I know they got nominated, I believe.
Beast of No
Beast of No Nation, but it didn't win.
Right.
So they haven't won Best Picture. So this is the one that they really.
It should have won.
Yeah, it was. I forgot what was out that year.
Room. That was.
Room was amazing, man.
Yeah.
I have to give Room that award. It deserved it.
I don't know, man. Think about the scope of Beast of No Nation.
At the same time, Room did his thing so effectively in such an intimate way, Mark. we ain't gonna. We are not gonna agree.
You, boy.
Yeah.
I'll save your life.
But this is everything that the Academy Award should like. It's black and white. Mm-hmm. It's a period piece.
Yeah.
Again, it itself is very intimate.
But it's not about making movies.
It's not. No,
they tend to give awards to movies that are about making movies.
But also, Martin, in this political climate where everybody's talking about the poor immigrants and everybody's talking about how brown people are being treated. Oh, wouldn't it be really cool to give this to a brown director?
Who's been given it before?
Yeah, well, give it to him again. We don't want him talking shit. Now, so what you have here, this is the life story of, not the life story, but this is a period of life in Alfonso Cuaron. Slice of life. And this is set in the early 1970s. I even think maybe 1970. And you have really one central character that you're looking at and maybe another. That being the family, the main central character being Cleo, who is pretty much a maid for this well-to-do family in Mexico City. But as we said, this is really kind of a slice of life. And what you want to know is, that's all cool and everything, but is it really up to the hype that all these critics are saying? Y'all ain't the regular critics out there. You're going to tell it like it is. Well, we will. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, which this is a Spanish-speaking film, so you're not going to hear any kind of dialogue or anything, and if you do, it's probably going to be in Spanish. But we'll be back to tell you about what you've seen, or what you've heard, rather, if you're listening, and then give you our review on top of that. I tell you, I don't like that trailer very much. And I know it's a hard trailer to actually put together because it's such a simple film. And then they put this woman in.
She starts out just like, like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm paying attention to you. Please continue. What were you saying?
Yeah, somebody just come up and stick a broomstick up here. And it's not reflective of the film.
It's not at all.
No, and it seems very random. I mean, because the movie is actually Alfonso Cuarón sharing a period in his life that he has much affection for, but does not over-romanticize it at all. Romanticize it, yes, but not over-romanticize it. No. Not everything is seen with an over-affection for it. No scenes with big blaring music that manipulate you into feeling like what I felt as a child. Nothing to like really exaggerate the tragedy that goes on around them. It's him when he's grown up as as I said, in Mexico City in the 1970s. And
which one is him?
I believe, no, seriously, I believe that there's a little
the littlest boy.
The littlest boy. I believe the little blonde kid in there is supposed to be him. I would say that the thing I could best compare it to is like watching a beautiful moving scrapbook. It's because
that's good.
Well, it's
because I couldn't think about how to describe it, and that's very good.
Well, think about somebody sitting down and showing you these gorgeous black and white photos from a time long past, and you're sitting there and they're saying, "This is the time this happened. This is the time this happened. This is this was terrible. This is the time this happened. Oh, this is one of the happiest times of my life. This happened." Everything is sort of just again not something that they're trying to dramatically sell you. They're just showing you these slices of life that they've had.
This movie has no forward moving, no agenda, not even much of a plot. I couldn't, on paper or even in words, tell you why you would want to sit and watch it. And yet, when you're watching it, you're so immersed in it that you're like, you just kind of kick back and just watch it happen. Yeah, it is. It's like somebody carved a window in time, and you're just there watching everything play out day by day.
Yeah,
it's just the way it's put together. It's everybody keeps saying beautiful, but it really is.
Yeah, and I know some people are gonna compare this to like a Fellini film, or Roberto Bellini, something like that, where it's a French New Wave film. It's black and white. It's defying narrative by not providing you with any real narrative, which is fine because there really is a beauty in the simplicity of this film, which says something when it comes from a guy who his last movies have been anything but really that simple.
True.
The Gravity. This is the same guy that directed Gravity. What? This is the effects of Gravity that you see there. This is anything but simple filmmaking. Children of Man he did. Mm-hmm. Children of Man was very elaborate camera setups. That one long tracking shot in the movie. This being a kind of a dystopian film and with this future setting. I mean, this is
and let us not forget the greatest of all Harry Potter films.
Oh, did he do that one? The Prison of Azkaban?
Yeah.
So this guy's worked in in anything but simplicity from a lot of his films. Goes back to more like Y Tu Mama Tambien, simpler storytelling that, which he also did. So I guess he just need to take a break,
right,
and come back to something.
I got to focus on me.
Yeah. And what I love about this movie is that even though he is the director, also the director of photography, he himself has positioned himself to be more of an observer, not only of his own story but of his own film. Mm-hmm. This is just letting images and activities speak for themselves. And it's easy to overlook that the movie even has a theme, which it does. It's just not, again, it's not something that's just laying it out real thick for you. The theme of the movie really, I mean, it could be interpretive. You tell me what you think, Martin, because the main actress here is Cleo. First time actor, by the way, Yalitza Aparicio. And she is the maid for the family. And where her story comes in, it really kicks into place. Besides you seeing the role she plays with the family, which I'm not going to say is non-existent. From what I understand, because my wife was telling me, she says Turkey's kind of similar to Mexico in a sense that, well, in some places people just have maids,
that live on the premises.
That live on the premises, become part of the family because it's not as expensive, as it used to be to have a maid here. But her story, she finds some goddamn Mexican samurai something, and he wannabe, yeah, he can pick up a stick and just twirl that shit, and he gets her pregnant, leaves her, and she's kind of helpless and left to the family to try to get by this period in her life where she's been abandoned. At the same time, the mom in the family which she works for a family who's headed up by a doctor. Doctor just finds himself a little thing on the side and just leaves.
Right, midlife crisis.
Cold too. Don't give a fuck about the kids or anything. And just leaves. And so it's these two people who have this similar situation going on, and yet their lives are so different with the roles that they have that they don't even really recognize how similar they are. Maybe later, but at that time, they're still in their own separate worlds, and their worlds are actually parallel almost with each other. But they just don't have the means to cross because of I would imagine, the positions that society has dictated for them.
Yeah, the theme of this movie is men ain't shit.
Yeah, shit. The theme of the night has been men ain't shit.
I know, right?
They either on drugs, they murdering queens, leaving their wives, girlfriends.
It's rare where you see a story about a well-to-do family with a maid where the maid isn't mistreated, where they actually are treated like a human being, and maybe not on the same level society-wise, but still treated with dignity.
Yeah. Funny thing is that making a bigger point about how their lives are just almost the same, except for she's on a lower economic level. She takes her aggression out on the mom and the family. She takes her aggression out on Cleo when Cleo's pregnant. Yeah. And she can't look for a moment and say like, "Oh shit, you are going through the same thing, sweetheart." I thought that was kind of fascinating. But that's the movie's mostly seen through the point of view of Cleo, and that story is just it's just an undercurrent of this movie here, because the movie doesn't play up anything that happens. This whole thing of being abandoned, that's life. Throughout the movie, there's painful losses, there's death, there's betrayal, there's violence. Shit, there's even an earthquake that goes. I'm like, God, leave these people alone. they have been through so much. Come on.
It just made it seem like, hey, this is life in Mexico.
But that's life in general. Yeah. It's just a matter of fact. I mean, we all have that going on in our lives.
And it's funny because the way you just said all those things, if hearing that, not having seen this movie, I would think this was going to be a soap opera. And it's not that at all. It's the opposite of that.
No, it is. It's because I mean, like I said, there's so many things that happen. I mean, there's always joy to be found at some point too. That's what they say. You're going to suffer a tragedy. You're going to have moments of joy too. There's even things like heroism in this movie, but all these things that we sit back and we romanticize in lives. Tragedy, heroism, death, and all the. This movie's like saying, look. Pull back. Everybody goes through this shit,
right?
And it's just it's just life. Very matter of fact, and they never dwell on anything too long.
No, they don't.
Something happens, it's like let's go.
They deal with it. They move on.
Yeah,
because that's life.
You are on a vacation in another person's life. We ain't sitting down crying about this shit. Let's go. We gotta move on. There's even there's even scenes of horrific death in this movie, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say horrific violence. I mean, it's just there's people dying in ways that are just very depressing. And I think there was the student riots in this movie. Yeah. And you see people dying in the streets. Movie says that sucks. Let's go. We got to get home and eat. Yeah. It's and you know what I thought, Martin? I thought the movie really captured that well with the kids, because these kids have to go. It's Cleo's point of view, but the kids are going through a lot of things too, man. Yeah, and kids can take a lot more than we give them credit for.
Oh, I say that all the time.
And it's funny because the kids more than adults, because the kids will cry, they will be sad, but they will get up and they will start playing again. Yeah, they'll start fighting each other and they'll start teasing. That's how these kids are. These kids in this movie. I mean, look, they were speaking English. I'd probably be like, man, they are horrible. But seeing what they are now, these kids are great. I mean, everybody feels like a family. I mean, there's some dramatic moments in here where it feels like a movie, but those kids feel very natural. The beauty of being able to just accept these things in life, no matter how good or bad they are. What it does is it just shows you the beauty in the smaller things in life. In this movie, I was looking at things that happened in here I appreciated the small touches. The mom can't drive a car. You know,
well, they got the world's most narrowest driveway.
They do.
And the dad got the widest car possible.
He did, man. And it's just little things you start to in that narrow hallway. They got a dog that can't stop shitting.
That clean up dog shit is the running theme through this entire movie.
Every time you come back to that driveway, there's more turds.
Matter of fact, so much that even the maids most of the time don't clean it up until somebody says it. Everybody's just stepping around the dog shit.
Yeah, there's a dog that, and by the way, that dog got some bounce. I'm surprised that dog can't jump over that building, man.
Right.
But that dog is the most shittingest dog I've ever seen. That dog laying turds around like Easter eggs, man. and you know, and you look at little things like that. They go, you know, there's always something small to look at. Even weird things that they don't explain. They walk into a room. I'm not gonna say what it is, but they have something going on with dog heads in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, you know, this is life, man. It's always the little things. And, you know, if you're a fan of beautiful film, see this, because even if you know, there might not be that much of a story there, which I appreciate. That's part of the story, that there's not much story. But I think that you know, just see it for the cinematography alone. As I say, Alfonso Cuaron did the director photography. He was the director of photography here.
No, of course. You know he had to be.
Yeah, you know, the black and white here, like I said, this is somebody going down memory lane. Being in black and white really does give the feeling of memories being thought about. And you know what? And the cinematography is so great. It's only accentuated by the fact that there's hardly any music in this. Alfonso Cuaron's almost like, don't bring that shit in here. These images are too nice. There's minimal editing.
Also, when I lived through this, there wasn't music playing all the time. There was no score in the air, so don't ruin it.
Oh, Martin, there was, though, because we're talking about the small things. I loved it. There's this. It's almost like a running gag, not played up like a comedy or a joke, but throughout the movie, there is this shitty band that keeps going down the street. do you remember that?
Them Salvation Army bands.
And every day with that shit, I was like, will somebody heat up some water and throw it on this band? Every day. It's so funny when they come through, but it's also, again, so beautiful because every time something happens that's eventful, that might even seem sad, that band is going by to show you that it can always be worse.
Stand around waiting for something sad to happen and go,
like right there. She got left by her husband.
Or your husband leave you.
Fucker. We're talking about the eventful things that happen in the movie, but there's a lot of things that just don't.
When people
happen
talk about filming something that happened in their lives, they want to find the most dramatic thing. Film, you know, make a film of that. Probably over dramatize some things, exaggerate, add all this. Complete antithesis of that. This is like, hey, it's a film of my life. Oh, okay. So your life is not all that different from how mine was.
Yeah. No,
this is actually very universal.
Well, because there's a lot. The best way to describe this, a lot of nothing really happens.
Yeah.
And when I say nothing, it's still enjoyable to watch. These, you know, because here's the thing: if you can make it seem like this is real life, and they make it relatable, because even though this is a family in Mexico City, it's very relatable to all people who have, especially if you have siblings. You've grown up with, you know, a family where your family has gone through their share of troubles, but at the same time, you sit back and you just live life. That's what this is like. And you know, there's minimal editing in this, no music.
Right.
And the movie's not trying to make a social statement, but it sort of does. But it doesn't have to say it. Again, just showing you how life exists. You can come up with your own conclusion of what it's like. Mexico City, or Mexico probably in general, has its own caste system. Yes. It's unspoken, or it's not enforced, but it's made aware. You know, Cleo is an indigenous Mexican.
Right.
You know, and it's just like everywhere else. You know, the more brown you are, the more after you're going to be able to pick up that mop. You know, are you going to be doing some work for the most well-to-do family? Because the people that she works for, the family, they are the more European-looking Spanish.
Sure.
The European-looking Mexicans.
But you also realize that they aren't rich. They have some money, but they aren't rich.
I think that even says something more that, okay, even you know, a family that's not rich, but is just okay, you know, well off, middle class. They can afford a maid, but that maid is still going to be of a darker skin color.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, it's
and just seeing things, you know, so mostly from her point of view. I you know, that Cuarón thought, you know, that I want to, you know, just exploring what her life was like with them.
Yeah, man. It's again, this is something where the subtle touches are what makes where the romanticism comes in, and we don't have to be told that. You know, this is almost like if you know it, then that's fine. But this is sort of a thing between me and myself. And I'm talking about the director. It said that Alfonso Cuaron, that's sort of a replica of what he grew up in, the home he grew up in. You know, the thing that I would say, if I had to say anything negative at all about this, is that while this is, again, something that's seen as a slice of life, a movie that just kind of lets life play out, it still is, hey, look, if it's in black and white, you're going to have an art moment. You know, when I say it's like a Fellini film in some parts, they actually have a part in the movie where they get dressed up. People get dressed up in costume. Not everybody, but some people get dressed up in costume at a party. There's a fire that's going on in the background, right, yeah. And one guy has to get in front of the fire and start singing, and you don't know why he ain't helping these people try to put out this fire. You don't know why he's singing. You don't even know why he's dressed up, you know. Maybe there's a language barrier thing going on, but it was a very art house moment that really brought me out of the movie. That brought attention to itself. That wasn't as natural feeling as the rest of the film. I don't know if you saw that. Probably didn't bother you if you saw that.
I saw it. It didn't bother me. I was surprised there wasn't more of that in there.
Yeah, man. But you know, overall, that's a small complaint.
This also took me back to the Love and Rockets comics I used to read and actually been getting back into. Now, those get a lot more just weird and zany, but it's still that kind of like poor Mexican town setting in a lot of the stories.
Oh, okay.
And just it took me back to that. Actually, my only negative about this was I couldn't figure out who or what Roma was.
Yeah, you know,
because when it was all over, I was like, all right, so Roma,
it's a city.
Is it?
I think it might be this city.
Okay, because I never got that. That never came across to me.
Yeah, I believe I think I heard that somewhere that that's the city that they're in. I think, but don't quote me on that. But I believe that might be it. Great experience emotionally. The movie, moves at the emotion of the movie moves at the pace of the film. You know, there was a moment in here I cried. I actually cried. And the movie said, dry them tears up. We got to go. I know
she ain't crying while you cry. Let's go.
Yeah, I know it's sad. Pick up a broom and get to work. But I really do. I'm not jumping on this like the rest of the critics. And if you know me, I am the one. Either you could look at this as somewhat of an art film, and you know me, I'm the one to be prone more to the artistic side of films or art house filmmaking. So this is my kind of this is more my kind of film. But I do think it's just a beautiful film, man. I think it's a beautiful film that doesn't have to overstate its affection for the experience that the director had. This is a big full price for me. I would definitely say this should be nominated for Best Picture, or I guess it would be Best Foreign Film. Best Foreign Film, yeah.
Best Foreign Language Film.
Yeah, exactly, Best Foreign Language Film. But yeah, man, I love this movie. I don't know how many times I'll watch it again because I just watch so many things, but I can see myself even not being told to sit down, because a lot of movies you have to sit down and watch it. This is something that can be played in the background.
Yeah. I just watched another movie today that's black and white and beautiful like this. I was like, man, if it's got any competition, it's this movie. I think Coldest War. I have to loan you that screener. But I agree with everything you're saying. And it's been such a long time that I've really seen a movie like this that, what is old is new again. The field isn't crowded. And it's great to know that, yes, one of the big, often commercial directors out there is still willing to do this kind of movie and give you this experience. Yeah, if you are a lover of film, not just going to see blockbusters and movies, I would say absolutely you should see this. It's a high full price.
Yeah.
And as far as vote for best foreign language film, Oh yeah, I mean, movie's good enough, and Amazon already bought my vote. So
I was about to say, maybe it's the booze and the food that they served when we got there. Now, you when I started this out, and I said, hey, it might be because of something Netflix did.
Is it Netflix?
It's Netflix.
Yeah. They already bought the vote.
Yeah, man. They Netflix fed us well, gave us free alcohol, so I might have been drunk. I don't know.
I was walking into the theater and saying like, "Oh, you can order whatever you want." That Netflix picking up the tab. Yeah, all right. I'll get a popcorn. No, anything. All right, fine. I'll get a hot dog. No, anything. All right. I'll get a sandwich and a beer. Okay.
And the bartender's like, no, anything. He's already taken off his clothes. Anything, Martin. So Netflix actually hoard themselves out.
And then sent us a nice souvenir book to go with it.
Oh, they sure did. Yeah, we couldn't say anything bad about this. We wanted to. Excuse me.